won't be many viewers currently.
Yeah, but
Ultimately, there will be like a ping to be like, hey everyone, Game Boy Live now, join Game Boy, the best Tetris version ever.
Let me make an
two-player Game Boy actually.
That's good.
People.
Hello.
Okay, so
hello.
like, people here at least are very enthusiastic about this tournament. It's a two-player Game Boy Tetris, so it's a bit different from the regular one-player.
Yeah, you could say it's like a battle.
So you connect the Game Boys via link cable. And then it's a head-to-head match where you send garbage to the bottom of the opponent's stack.
Alter, what the fuck sind am Spielen?
Warte, das Match schon losgekommen? Oh, sorry, I didn't. There was no counter, I didn't expect
Okay,
the match
we
to only
have
start.
Marq
Okay.
versus
So the match
Richard.
actually has started. I was like, oh yeah, we're still in the warm-up, but apparently the match has started.
Der Counter hat uns verwirrt.
Germany and Colombia
Oh, no.
versus Meli
I guess
and
that makes a bit of
Bergtroll.
sense then. But pay attention to my voice for that stuff, please. But okay, happens. So we're actually live. I didn't know that. Live is in the matches have begun.
They have.
They were like, okay, we do the stream counter on 3, 2, 1. That we start the stream, and then they started their match.
Oh. Ah, okay, that was our fault then. So
Yeah.
Meli Switzerland and Bergtroll from France.
Yes, as well as Marq from Germany and Richard from Colombia. I believe you haven't introduced them. If you have, I didn't hear it. And the first game is already over. They went in favor of Marquio.
So as you see, it's a best of 9, I think. You need 4 hearts to advance.
That's best of 7.
Best of 7,
Yeah,
okay.
best of 7.
Okay, that makes sense. So 1 heart for Marq and 1 heart for Meli.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, 100 for Bergtroll.
Wait. Oh yeah, Bergtroll, sorry for the misinformation there.
It does happen to the best of us, like you, for example. But yeah, we just do some explanation here of the Game Boy stuff. So, you can send garbage as well. As you can see now, Marq sends a bit of garbage to Richard, and Richard is like, okay, the garbage is in column whatever it is. That's also why Marq is looking at the screen here. Marq likes sending garbage as the first player, because then he's like, okay, the garbage is coming in column 59. There's no 59.
Yeah, no, there's not. But the garbage always remains in the same column for
Yep.
both players for the same game.
Yep. So if you send garbage and you know it's coming, for example, in number 10, then you know, okay, it's in 10.
Exactly. And it can only ever be in the even columns.
Yep. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Exactly. So left well, as preferred usually for Game Boy, is not really a good option here because there will never be a well on the left. So you would rather go for a center well.
I
Or-
guess technically there is if you manage to win before your opponent sends any garbage.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that just doesn't happen.
So the second thing is you have 30 lines to clear in order to win. So either you get the 30 lines first or your opponent top outs.
Yep. The top out might happen on Richard's side, as we can see. It's
Let's
quite
see, let's
high
see.
here. Marq is set up for a triple. A triple would probably kill Richard, and here's the garbage to Richard, and Richard tops out. So we have now seen the top
Oh.
out method performed by Marq on Richard, which means Marq is now 2-0 against Richard here. And in the bottom match between Meli and Bergtroll, we can see Meli being quite high, but set up for the Tetris, just waiting for the bar here. And here's the bar, and Tetris to Meli. One more single does it, and here's the single. And the second type, or like the first type, just getting 30 lines.
Okay, so we have 2-0 Marq against Richard and 1-1 Bergtroll Meli. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. It's 1-1 exactly.
At least it shows that. So let's see how the rest of the match here pans out.
We can see Richard now being 3 high due to the garbage that Marq sent. So Richard is going to do a bit of digging here. And yeah, Marq is set up to be open here, and kind of 4 is open. Only gonna send a double and triple now he's gonna set up for the Tetris.
Oh,
Which does immediately
That
throw Richard out.
that was a quick game by Marq sending garbage over and over and over. That's crazy tactic, but it works quite well for Marq.
And as far as I know, Marq is the current Game Boy Battles World Champion.
That's true, yeah. For CTEC, that's true.
And CTWC is basically the Game Boy Battles World Champion.
Yeah,
So
Yes.
you could
You could argue, yeah.
There's
I mean-
no other big event. So it's the World Championships. Well, there hasn't been so far then. maybe we can rename CTWC Paris to CTWC Game Boy Battles World Championship Finals Epic XXX, whatever. I don't know. I'm not into naming. Like, yeah.
So one other thing to mention maybe is that on the left and the right, your stack can actually go beyond the play field and you won't die.
What's also important to mention is that the pieces don't spawn at 0 height like they do in NES. They spawn too low.
True, yeah.
And Meli is in a lot of trouble coming out here, which means Bergtroll gets the advantage 2-1 Bergtroll. Marq is being a bit high, but he's able to burn down a few lines. They're about halfway through the game, the bottom people. And Marq getting the next bar into Tetris, into catapulting Richard a bit high, but Richard is able to get open.
Maybe something to say about Meli. She's from Switzerland and not that well known for people outside of Switzerland, but I can guarantee you she's a monster in the two-player versus game in Game Boy Tetris. So you better watch out for her. She is very, very good at that. And I would be surprised.
One line for Marq, and Marq does sweep Richard.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, but Marq is the CTEC champion, so that was kind of expected, but very sad for Richard that it went so quickly.
Yeah,
GG's to both players still.
So the first match is over. I'm not fully sure what you do here, but I believe we're gonna wait for Meli and Bergtroll to finish their match as well, and then we're gonna start the next set.
I guess so. Okay. I will be in the next set actually. So I will be Tolstoy for those who don't know who's speaking here. Oh, what happened? Oh, Bergtroll popped out.
Apparently missed.
Okay.
Our beloved.
That is exciting.
Okay, so quick question to Tony.
And you can see on the tables now there are plushies. This was Marq. I don't know what he did there. So you see a Blahai and for the...
Are you ready? 3,
Sorry.
2, 1.
For the...
And it looks like we're switching to the two-player scene, which means we have Meli at the bottom, at the left, Bergtroll on the right, and we see them in Out of the Glory here. So yeah, 29-29 that just started this game. We have the garbage in column number... I will not spoil it for Bergtroll.
No, don't do it.
I will only say it once he gets some garbage as well. But
Good,
yeah, Meli is set up for the Tetris, just waiting for bar. Should probably take a triple. No, getting the Tetris for Meli. And now Bergtroll does know as well that the garbage is in column number 2.
Exactly. So let's see. You never want to clog the Tetris well or the garbage well too much. So let's see.
And Bergtroll is quite high. He is gonna get a triple, which is quite a bit pretty high. Still can get the pieces everywhere. But if Meli is able to set up for... but Bergtroll, no!
Spawning height might be a problem.
Okay, still in.
Oh, there's nothing I can do.
I believe if he placed that to the left, the first L piece, could have done the second and got like a triple?
Probably.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, yeah.
But it's now match point for Meli.
Okay.
The players are ready, so let's do
okay, they
match
are.
point for Meli.
So one thing also to mention, there's same piece sets, and they were there from the beginning. And how that works is really quite funny because there's the Mario Game Boy and the Luigi Game Boy. And the Mario Game Boy is kind of like the Master Game Boy. They called it like that in the 80s. And that generates the pieces and sends the pieces over before the game begins. 128 or something pieces. And then the other Game Boy receives, and that's why there is a delay before the game begins.
So out of curiosity, is it possible to play the 60 lines and using all 128 pieces?
No, wait, it's actually 256, I said it wrong.
Oh, okay, 256 is
no, it's not possible. I calculated it at one point and it's not possible, so you have more than enough.
So it's like
pieces.
128 is quite tight if you don't send any garbage.
Yes.
If you only single, I was like, oh, isn't that like... But no, 256 out of reach.
Okay, we see a bit high stack
But
there.
we do see a Tetris and a double, so a bit of
Oh,
garbage here.
okay. And the well is open for Meli, and she gets. Oh my gosh, that's
One small thing that we don't see here on screen is, next to your playing field, you have like this bar that shows how high your opponent is in the stack as well.
true. That's something that we could add. Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Bergtroll is high in danger. Okay,
Oh,
getting
oh.
single, but
Oh.
there's the Tetris of Meli.
Oh,
and
great, Meli.
wins.
That was a pretty intense game.
Back to 4 players, please.
Yeah, so we're now in